So today I am like super excited. And I also think all of the brides are going to be glued to this podcast because Paula King from Bridal by Tamem Michael is joining me today. Paula, how are you?
I'm great. It's been a busy January, thankfully, you know, with wedding fairs and that, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I just probably need to rest this weekend to recharge the batteries, you know.
I suppose that they're all sort of thinking, oh, the dress and what will they wear? Sure, you know, most brides have been thinking of this dress since they were 2.
Yeah, well, I think what happens with us is, and I needed it, like last year was such a mad year for catch up, you know, and then December goes very quiet because that's the way our season goes. A lot of brides just sort of go, oh, I'll leave it till after Christmas.
Yeah.
So I think around the first week in December, I was feeling exhausted. I was going, oh God, have I lost my mojo? And thankfully we take a good 2 weeks off for Christmas and we're straight. And I was full of charge, full of get up and go. And we reopened in January, you know.
So Paula, tell me first of all, before we go into all of the tips that you're going to give me today.
Yeah.
How did you get into bridal design?
Okay, well, it started with my mum. My mum is Lebanese and she was sent to Ireland at 16 to be educated, and she loved dressmaking. So she did her Grafton Academy course and she worked for 1 or 2 very big labels. Back then, there was a lot of manufacturing going on in Ireland. So mum just, you know, that I grew up in that. She had a workroom in our house, you know, and she'd be making all my friends Deb's dresses. Of course, mine was always left to the last minute. It was like the day before, go, please. And I used to love Cinderella books and Sleeping Beauty and all that. And I loved the dresses, and I was forever drawing or, you know, trying to make little dresses. I loved it. And
You're amazing at drawing, by the way.
Thank you. But, you know, I didn't do a Grafton Academy course. I have a business head as well.
Right.
So I went on to do marketing and all that. But I ended up, when I finished my degree, I said, I want to work with mum. So I sort of helped her through all those years, build up the business, worked in it from the age of whatever.
Yeah.
And I just had a grow for it. So I love helping people, Jenny, and that's, I'm not just saying that to be boast. I do love helping people. So I love dealing with brides and being part of their day, and I love, you know, designing. And I design in a way that's not arty-farty as such.
Yes.
I design in a way that people can wear, and you know,
absolutely.
So that's how I got into it. And of course, mum nurtured and helped me grow the whole way through.
Yeah, and now you're the boss.
Now well, she's still the boss.
Oh Jesus! I hope she's not listening to this. She'd kill me.
She's still very much the boss. Would you believe my mum still is in work every day? I mean, I'm the boss in other ways, you know. But she's there as a guiding hand and someone to turn to. And she's fantastic.
Oh, she's an absolute legend. So, Paula, you designed my dress. We have to tell everybody about that before we even go any further. I had the best day.
Yeah, it was
with
lovely,
you.
Wasn't
it was a Sunday, and it was just the 2 of us.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It was so lovely because I'd be honest with you, as I am with most of my clients, all my clients. Yeah. And we just had the place to ourselves. And
great. We did a glass of Prosecco, do you remember?
We did. Now, that didn't interfere in our choice.
Oh, no, definitely not. Thank God it wasn't the bottle.
But, you know, you had to look like most girls, because let's be honest, we dress ourselves every day.
Yeah.
You knew the type of shape you wanted or didn't want.
Yeah.
Didn't want.
Well, the thing I suppose for me is that, like, I've big hips. So, you know, even from dressing me to go to different balls and stuff, Paula, I would be so conscious of having anything stuck to my hips. So I felt, well, I'm 38 and a half getting married.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mutton dressed as lamb. I don't want to go for one of these Cinderella dresses. And in the end, what did I do? I went for the full skirt.
Yeah, but it was a lovely skirt because that's a circular skirt, so it wasn't loads of gathers, or it wouldn't be what I'd call a big sort of Cinderella dress as such, but it's a lovely soft flowing skirt, which is very popular. Yeah. In bridal, because you can either have it very soft with no nets, or you can have it with a little bit of netting to sort of give it a bit of a kick. But it was beautiful. I mean, at the end of the day, we focused on what parts of your body you wanted to emphasize.
But do you know what I loved about it, Paula? And I'm sure you do this for everybody. You completely created that dress. So I loved the bottom of one dress you had on show and the top of another, and you made it from scratch.
Yeah, and it is a lovely way to get your wedding dress. Yeah. And some girls can trust that process and are happy to do it that way, and some girls can't, they're nervous.
Yes.
You know, so we try and deal with both as such, you know.
Okay.
But you completely got it.
And
I think we actually had 2 or 3 dresses on you all together at one stage, didn't we?
You did.
We did, yeah.
I had the bottom of the first dress with the skirt, and we had all that tucked down, the top of it tucked down.
Yeah, that's right.
I know the dress on because I like the top, and it was just, you nailed it. I loved my dress.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's that kind of style that'll never date as well.
Well, bridal is, this is the thing with the bridal. There's no point in going with faddish, fashion. And this is
Yes.
why bridal trends don't change drastically over, maybe every 10 years you'll see a change. But you need to go for classic and timeless, because at the end of the day, it's not just a day, because your memory and your photographs last for life.
Forever.
But at the end of the day, it is a day in the sense if you wear it for a day. So you want your image to last. I mean, I have friends who hide their wedding albums because they went for something completely sort of,
Oh,
So you
God.
want timeless, and you want that look,
Yes. So Paula, then where to start? So I'm a bride, I'm after getting engaged.
Yeah.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Okay, so the first thing I think you really need to do is you need to sort of think of your timing, okay? So the ideal time, I think, in my personal opinion, and please don't get panicky out there if it's gone past this, the ideal time to start is about 12 months before your date, okay? As I said, don't panic if it's 6 months. This is just the ideal. Couple of reasons being, one, it's a really good time to start a year before your date, because you get a feel for what the weather is going to be like, what your complexion is going to be like, all that type of thing. So it sort of gives you an idea, okay, this is going to be kind of the type of season and the weather that I'm going to be getting married in. And I think that helps the process. Two, you have loads of other decisions to make. I did it all in 6 months and I made so many mistakes because I was making decisions together. So ideally, if you do it in time, you can detox then for a couple of weeks and you can move on to the next thing. And I find that a lot of brides have much more clarity when their wedding dress is booked and they know what they're wearing.
Perfect.
It affects the styling. And thirdly, dresses can take 4 to 6 months to come in. I'm not talking about making. I mean, we obviously can control our production, but if we're ordering in a dress that we stock from one of our lovely labels, it can take that long to come in.
Right.
And then you have to allow for fittings, and things like that. So they would be why I say to brides, it's not that I'm trying to put pressure on brides, but as I said, do not panic if your time is less than that. It is still all possible.
And tell me then, will they come in with 100 different ideas?
Okay.
Or do you say, forget those ideas and here's what I think will suit you? Like, what way do you deal with it?
Okay, so what I would advise brides to do, so you've gotten engaged, you've decided, right, I'm getting married in a year and a half, I'm going to book my appointments for this time.
Yeah.
Start getting a feel for your styling in the sense of, one, go to your wardrobe and look at what type of shapes you really love on you.
Brilliant, that's a great idea.
Your necklines, do you like V's on you? Do you like off the shoulder? Get a feel from your own wardrobe.
Right.
Then have a look on Instagram and look at the shops and what type of dresses they're selling.
Now, hold on a second. Let's talk about Instagram for 1 minute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of photoshopping and airbrushing.
I was just going to get to that. Don't get caught up in thinking you're going to look like the model. I'm more saying focus on, am I attracted to lace?
Styles. Okay.
Or am I attracted to plain?
Right.
Am I attracted to lace and plain? Am I attracted to ball gowns or am I attracted? Just get a feel for what is my eye attracted to.
Right.
And then sit down and go, okay, I'm going to book 3 or 4 shops. You do not need to travel the country.
Yeah.
You really don't. You need to, through recommendation, through what you're attracted on Instagram to, go, okay, I'm going to book into these 3 or 4 shops.
Yes.
Book them in within 2, maybe 3 weeks of each other.
Yes.
12 months before your wedding. Do it all in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks max, because you get confused if you drag it out for months and months.
Absolutely.
You really do. And the first dress you tried on could have been the dress for you. And months later, you've forgotten. And then you have to start all over again. And let's be honest, life is so quick now, Jenny.
Yeah.
Do you know, we don't really have time. So then be very open when you get to the shop. You can obviously, what I like to do is sit down with the client and have a chat about them, their styling, how they see themselves on the day of the wedding. But be open to say to the shop assistant, look, this is what I think I want. Because I'd say 7 out of 10 times we sell a dress to a bride or we design a dress for a bride and she goes, I never thought I would go for that, but this is my dress.
Says me.
Yeah. So, be open, say, look, these are the ones I want to try on, because you have to get them on you. You could be spot on and you could be right, or you could be so wrong.
Right.
And you need to, because the assistants in bridal shops, the consultants they're really good people in the sense that they know what their stock is.
Yes.
And this is why it's important to book your appointments as well, because bridal shops are not like pennies. You don't just walk in and browse.
I know.
Most bridal shops,
appointment.
you have to have an appointment because we are giving you an hour or an hour and a half of our expertise. We're knowing what dresses to pull out. We're advising you. Like, to me, your neckline is really important. Because your
so
neckline is in
important.
every photograph.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it either elongates your neck or it helps to lift your features on your face, or, you know, so listen to the consultant as well and say, and they might pull out a dress and you might go, I'm not trying that on.
Yeah.
Because there are only so many styles.
Yes, of
so
course.
it's not endless that there's going to be suddenly another style out there. There are only so many necklines.
Yeah, of course.
So it's really a case of...
Talk me through the necklines, Paula. What type of necklines do you have? Like, I know that they all have little tag names on them.
Yeah, well, I suppose the low plunging V has been very
So
popular.
what is that?
So the low plunging V is where it's a V neckline, but it go past your bust and down to your belly button, or a little
Okay.
bit past your bust.
That's very provocative there,
It's
isn't
very...
it? Show them to the priest.
Yeah, the problem I have with this neckline, look, it's lovely on some girls, you know.
Yeah.
The problem I have with this neckline is a lot of time designers do it with the low back.
Right.
So you have a problem where shoulders mightn't stay on the shoulders because
Yeah.
some girls might have sloping shoulders.
And what about holding the boobs up then?
And you get girls who come into you who've got, you know, who are well endowed in the bust, and that's brilliant for some necklines, but I don't think it's good for this neckline. And then the girls are saying, well, what can you do to hold my bust up? And there's not a lot I can do, because if you can't wear a bra, it's because it's very low. And you can't put tape because sometimes it's all net with the plique lace. So please, 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 if you're looking for wedding dresses, please keep in mind you have to wear this dress the whole day, not just half an hour in a shop.
Absolutely.
And you want your bust to look good because your foundation is so important.
Well, you have to go to Sinead Sanderson and Peaches and Cream, my friend.
But even Sinead mightn't be able to help if it's a situation,
she did say that actually.
you know, where they are, and you know, and listen, some girls have got a big, and they're not defying gravity, and that's brilliant. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that you can't go low on the front and low on the back because you've nothing to hold you up.
And you
then.
see, some girls who use our dress doctor service, that's where they bought the dress somewhere else and they want to come to us. They would say to me, the shop said you can put a bra in it. If you have a backless dress and it's very low at the front, a bra supports you because it has a strap and it closes at the back. Like, I can stick a cup in the front.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that's going to lift your bust.
That's going to hold you up.
Because how a bra works is it has a strap and it closes at the back.
Yeah.
You know, so I sometimes say to girl, do me a favor, put your bra on now, open it at the back and take the strap off. And they're going, but sure, it's just going to fall off. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so please keep that in mind because that is really important. And also the Spanx. You know, Spanx are great, but do not buy Spanx that are too tight for you. Like, I would love to say to all of you, if it sucks you in, it's great. But if it sucks you in one place, it
Sinead
pulls you out
said this
in the
as
other.
well, exactly.
Yeah.
You'll have lumps and bumps somewhere else if they're too tight. So you have to go for the right size.
Smooth, light control. And I think a lot of the time it's more for the brides to feel like they have a smoothness.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a slim fitted skirt, don't get Spanx that stop just at your thighs.
Yes.
You'll see the line.
Yeah. And then Paula, talk to me about what they need to bring. So they've decided on their dress.
Okay.
What do they need to bring?
Okay, well,
for their
before they've
fittings?
decided on their dress, Jenny, just to jump back to the fitting, the appointment process, please don't bring the whole world with you.
Sorry, let's go back there.
Yeah.
Don't bring a bus with 24 people in it because you don't want 24 opinions.
Again, look, and I mean, some people might take offense by me saying this, but I genuinely am saying it with good heart. You know, bring one or two people that really, their opinions really do matter to you.
Yes.
Because if you bring 5 or 6 people with you, you're going to get opinions of people who, you know, they want you to go for what they think you should wear or what they would go for.
I know.
So what I would always say to clients, you know, bring your mum or your sister or a best friend who you value and who gets you.
Yes.
And who won't just be sort of picking out dresses that they want. And then once you've picked the dress,
then
you can even have your deposit down. You don't need to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Then bring the other girls along to say, look, this is the dress I'm in love with and I'd love you to see it.
And do you have time for that then?
Well, yeah, because look, our consultations would be an hour and a half. You know, whereas if somebody rings and says, Paul, I've booked my dress, but I want to bring... It's no problem.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll always make time for that. You know, that's only fair.
Yes.
But that would be my advice. Like you and I did it with just you and I.
I know, yeah.
I actually picked my own wedding dress, designed my own by trying it on my own because I knew if I brought my sisters...
That'd be it.
Well, I don't ask them what I should wear on a Friday night. Like we've all got different tastes, you know?
So you were definitely not bringing them?
And I knew if I brought the girls that I work with, everyone would be going, oh no, you should wear this, Paul. And you know, so I sort of felt like, do you know what? I'm just going to do this myself. And I did that exact thing. I tried on loads of different
styles. Would you change anything if you went back?
No, I wouldn't.
Good.
I still would wear the same. I might change colour because I actually wore white back then because funny enough, Back then, whites were lovely.
Yes.
Dyeing regulations in Europe and all that, whites are more blue white or grey white
Right.
now, and rarely do you sell a white wedding dress.
Yeah.
Mind you, loads of girls come into my showroom and go, "Oh, these are all white dresses in our showroom," and there
They're
isn't
not.
one white dress in our showroom. It's like, ivory is like black.
Yes.
There are different shades. You have your winter whites.
Go on. There's different shades of ivory.
Oh, there's loads of different shades,
Okay.
Jenny.
Okay.
So this is really important too.
Right.
You have, and this is why 12 months before your wedding really helps, because the light, as you know, being a photographer.
Listen, light is everything.
Yeah, and so some girls will put on an ivory and it drains their tone.
Right.
And they'll put on maybe a paler ivory, which is a winter white ivory, and it lifts their tone.
Okay.
And the other thing now that we're having to deal with is a lot of wedding dresses out there are ivory with a nude background.
Right.
So you've loads of different shades of nude or mocha. You've got sort of a pinky nude, you've got a skin tone nude, you've got a darker. Again, like last week I had a girl in the showroom and she put on one dress with this nude background under the lace and it was stunning. And she put on one from another designer and that just drained her.
Wow.
So colouring, the colour of the dress is really important. And where the shops that you're viewing them in, make sure the light is good. Stand near the door.
Yeah.
If I have a girl who has ever got, and we have really good lighting in our showroom.
I was just going to say you've an amazing, because of your windows.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
and we've got all the lights changed. We've really good lighting.
Yes.
But sometimes if a girl is doubtful, I will always bring her to the door, open the door, and let her see the dress in the light, in daylight.
Amazing.
Part of your day is outside. A lot of it is indoors.
Yes.
So you have to look at it in both.
Yeah, of course. And just before we head on to what you bring to your fittings with you, we were talking about necklines, and I jumped ahead. So you talked about the plunging neckline. What are the necklines?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So you've got strapless dresses. So strapless dresses are where you've no strap, you've no shoulder or anything like that. So the straight across neckline is quite popular.
Okay.
The straight across neckline, I think, suits more a fuller bust.
Right.
I think if you're very small, I don't know if it does. Now, you can get straight across with this little smile in it.
Okay.
Then you have your classical
What do you mean with a little smile in it?
Just sort of a little dip.
A dip.
If you can imagine just a smile.
Okay.
And then you've got sweetheart, which is a classical sweetheart. And you've different shapes of sweetheart. So you've got a soft, sort of not too obvious sweetheart. And then you've a more obvious one where the V in the middle goes down.
Yeah.
So what you need to think of here is, again, your underwear. Do I need to wear a bra? If I do, make sure the back is high. Like I have some clients who come to me and they want a sweetheart neckline, strapless, but they want no back. Now that's not possible unless you want to glue the dress.
You're not, well, you are Wonder Woman, but you're not.
It's not going to stay up on you. And I've had to say to girls, no, you can't go any lower at the back because I'm not going to be responsible of your dress slipping off you while you're walking up the aisle.
Could you imagine the priest? Holy God.
Yeah. So the other neckline that's really popular now is the soft V and shoulders with a sleeve. Sleeves at the moment are huge. And I have to say, I do love sleeves.
I do too. And you know something, Paula, and this is just, seeing brides on Instagram as well. Some people need a bloody sleeve.
Yes.
I'm like, here, watch my arms, watch it. And I would always obviously give everybody, the best pose to be in.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just needed a sleeve.
Yeah. But if you're not into sleeves, you can go for what we call the swag.
Yes.
Which is just a draping around the top of the arm. Or you could go for a little cap sleeve.
Yes.
Another very popular neckline is the high neckline, the high bateau neckline.
Right.
Now, I know a lot of people say, if you have a big bust, you can't wear that neckline. That's not true.
Is it not?
No, it's not. I have seen girls who've got, again, are very good in the bust and they've put on the high neckline and it's fabulous on them. And sometimes, girls don't want to show off their cleavage and they want to be able to move around. So comfort, even though girls laugh at me when I say this, comfort is really important.
It is absolutely
because
important.
you're moving around all day and you're bending down, saying hello to people, hugging people, whatever. You don't want to be feeling, oh God, is my shoulder down? Am I in? Because it'll show in your photographs.
You don't want to have to keep, and I always say to my brides, because I end up putting them into their dress every time.
Yeah. Well, this is another thing I wanted to talk about.
I have so many questions to ask you. I know the answers to them all, but I need you to tell my brides who are listening.
Yeah.
I would always say to my bride in the morning, you have to pretend you're in your jeans and your t-shirt right now because you have got to wear that dress and don't let it wear you.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh God, you're so right.
Yeah.
And I am so right.
Yeah.
You need to be able to relax in it. And if you're
Yeah.
relaxed, you'll be relaxed in your photos.
Yeah, and you will be, exactly. Like we've all gone out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and we've worn the wrong thing and you've spent the night going, I just want to get home, get this off. Are they looking down my top? Are they, you know, and
Yes.
you cannot be like that on a day that is going to last in your memory for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that will niggle at you for life. You know,
course.
why did I do that? So it is very, very important, you know.
And tell me then, Paula, let's dish the dirt here.
Yeah.
Any sort of behind the scenes stuff? Is there any rows? Does anyone ever have a row?
Yeah. Well, you look, you do. I mean, like you have rows. You do have rows. I'll be honest with you. A lot of the rows are between mums and daughters because there's always like a little bit of a clash there. I have had the odd time I've had where bridesmaids seem to think the day is about themselves.
Yeah.
And I've had to sort of very politely say, listen, this is, you know, and then with my dress doctor service, I had a girl once who came up to me and she wanted me to alter her wedding dress, you know, and one of the shops I will always do it for, and she came in and she was in the dress and everything was lovely and I was looking at it and needed to be taken in, so I went to try and pin it and she nearly had a breakdown that I was trying to put a pin in her dress. And I said, look, I'm good, love, but I'm not that good. I need to pin what we need to take off. And you do know pins are, you know, for
I know what
fabric.
I'm doing.
Yeah. And then I had and this is a line I use all the time and it means no offense to anyone, but I had a mother there one time and it was so funny. The girl was all excited. Like she was one of these brides who's nearly jumping up and down from excitement. And she's in her dress and she's all so happy and her mum's sitting there and, you know, her mum sort of just is staring away and she goes, oh, well, I suppose you can't be happy forever. And we all cracked up laughing and the bride was like, Mum, you know. But, you know, you do have some great crack with your clients.
Yeah.
And you do have some situations where you can feel this tension. But to be honest with you, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
You don't. And they could be a bit stressed as well.
Oh, yeah. Like there is high levels of stress, you know. And, you know, I suppose what I would love to get into brides' heads and mothers' heads, this is a really special time.
Yes.
This is life is about making memories.
Absolutely.
And this is another memory.
Yeah.
So try and just enjoy it and don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just try and go, it'll all work out. It'll all be fine. But you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Yes.
You know, so I always try and just, you know, calm things down and listen to both.
Yes.
You know,
course.
listen to both mum and daughter, but obviously the daughter, I have to take more what she says.
Yeah.
Whereas I will always respect the mum's opinion. And sometimes the mum wants the daughter to do something and the daughter's not listening and the mum is right.
Yes.
And I will step in and say, listen, your mum is right here. There's a point to this.
Yeah.
You know, so, but look, I love dealing
and
with
do they always listen to you, Paula, and take on board what you're saying? No?
I would say 90% of the
Right,
time. I mean,
okay.
you do get some girls who are adamant that they want something
Yeah.
that I know is going to cause a problem. But,
Yeah.
you know, I have to, they're my client and I have to say very clearly, well, I've advised against it, but if you want it, there's no problem. I'll do it, you know.
Okay. Oh, and I'll be listening to you all the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like you two, so let's talk about the dress doctor because I know you just skimmed past it there. So you do, I mean, I've seen your place downstairs. So I'm up above you.
Yeah.
My studio's up above you. But you've obviously got your beautiful showroom in the front of the building, but there's a whole other ball game happening behind that wall.
Yeah.
You want to see these ladies, guys, at their little machines. They're amazing, amazing ladies. So your dress doctor service, talk to me about that.
Yeah, so what happened was we always make our own dresses and alter dresses that we sell from other designers in our showroom. So what happened was a couple of shops had approached me and said, look, Paula, would you do our brides as well? Because we're accountable. We're a shop. So, you know, and what happened then around that time is I'd had a few girls who came to me and God, like I'm not knocking home workers, so please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I had one or two girls who came to me and their alterations had been done really badly.
Right.
And they had no accountability because it was somebody at home and they just sort of said, there's your dress, that's it, I'm done. So I remember one girl particularly, the dress was shortened 5 inches too short. So I had to change her whole skirt. But thankfully, she was just so glad we could do it.
Yeah.
So a couple of shops approached me and said, look, would you? And I said, you know what? Yeah, let's look at doing this.
Yes.
Again, it's my you know, my sister and my mum were going, what are you doing? It's I want to help people thing.
Yeah, of course.
But you know what? It's worked out really well, Jenny. You know, I've had to take on extra staff in the factory.
Sure.
To deal with this.
I'd say it's difficult to get good machinists. Though,
it is very difficult. It is very difficult. So, but it's, you know, I like the fact that we're able to help, and I do it for a few shops that send the brides to me, and then sometimes other girls will ring and say, listen, I heard about you, can I book in? So like I've girls booking me in for next year even.
Wow.
You know, they've gotten their dress and the shops have said book in straight away now. So if you want a good alteration service, you know, there aren't a huge amount of alteration because it's a dying trade.
Well, you see, I'm obviously in the industry as well, so I hear this. Another thing I hear, and I just have to say it, I had an awful experience with my dress. The dress designer was so narky on the day. And that's awful to hear. Have you heard that, Paula? Like in bad mood and giving out, and like I definitely wouldn't want that if I was going in to choose a wedding dress, because this is meant to be the happiest time of your life. But I hear that a lot, Paula.
Yeah, but you see, that's really sad, because that's the memory that's going to stick in their head. And you want to make it all a good memory for somebody. And you want
Why do you think that is?
God, I don't know, Jenny. I don't know really. You know,
is it a stressful job for you guys?
I don't find it stressful. You know, I just do all the pinning and whatever, and then I go to the girls, fix that. And you know,
so they're stressed.
So Helena could sometimes say to me, "Need to fuck off," you know, or whatever. But you know, I just go, "Look, just fix it."
Just do it. Bye.
And they're like magic little elves, you know.
They're amazing.
Oh yeah, I know.
Do you know what I love about them? They're just sorry. Now, even going back to stuff that I've had done in your store, and these women are you could never replace these women.
They've been with us so long.
And they'll come out and they're just, they're just legends.
Oh yeah, and I do
they?
that sometimes. Like if we've been working really hard in a dress, I'll say to them, "Come on out and see it in the pliant," you know, and that's lovely for them.
But
these, I mean, I'd be lost without these.
Oh, you would.
My crew. I really would.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be lost without me, and I'd be lost without them.
It's a great team. It is. It really is.
Yeah. So, I don't know why that would look. I suppose some people can have off days. I'm sure some people have had off days with me. I'm not saying I'm always, you know.
Well, I've had somebody.
Do you know what, Jenny? Sometimes you'll have clash of personalities.
Maybe. I've had a bridal designer say to a bride that she wasn't to come back to her till she lost 5 inches. Like, that's not good, Paula. You can't say that to people.
Well, that's not acceptable at all.
You could totally sue somebody for that. But she absolutely said to her, "You need to lose 5 pounds and don't come back to me until you do." I'm not messing. Yeah.
No, I mean, look, if somebody, like I had a lot of brides over COVID who had put on weight, as we all did.
Sure, listen, I was like.
So I had a huge amount of having to let out dresses or add, you just fix it.
Well, we were all going around in our tracksuits with our elasticated waistbands.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the beauty of us, and you know, when brides come into us for viewings, I say, look, we do a start to finish service. So we don't just sell you the dress.
Yeah.
So we're not going to sell you a dress that can't be altered.
Absolutely.
Or we're not going to sell you a dress that's going to cause problems in your bust area or anywhere like that. So I have a lot of fabrics on the premises. So sometimes if a girl comes to me and she does need it let out, we can do it because we have the fabric to. Yeah. You know, where some places mightn't have that. Yeah. You know, and that's, I'm not knocking them for that. Okay. That's their situation.
Okay, fair enough.
But there is a way around saying things.
5 pounds. Don't come back until, you big fatty. That's all she could have said to her. I mean, honest to God, Paula, that's not right. Anyhow.
I'll give you a real laugh on that topic, right? Very quickly. My sister had an exercise bike that she didn't want her. My mum had one of them anyway, and they brought it to the factory for one of the others to take home. Okay. So it was where the toilets were. We just left it there, you know, until we got the van to take it. So anyway, I had a fitting one day with the girl, and she came in, you know, and she was in the fitting, and she was doing it, and she goes, "Can I just go to the loo first?" And I said, "Yeah." And she came back, and she's sort of quiet, and she goes, "Just wondering what the exercise bike is for." And I said, "Well, you see, what happens is if you've lost weight, I send you down the road to McDonald's. But if you've put on weight, I stick you on the bike for half an hour." And the poor girl was looking at me like, "What?" Oh, well, I cracked myself up. I don't know whether she thought it was that funny afterwards. I know she did, but I couldn't resist it. I just thought I have to just make a joke about this. So, look, the girls can go up and down. I never have a major problem with it. And that's being honest with you. I had one incident, right, where I had a major problem.
Oh, really, Paula?
Yeah. A girl bought a dress and it was a size 12 on the rail, and we ordered her in a size 12, and she came into us, and it was about 3 months before her wedding. And she was trying to get into the dress, and I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying she couldn't get it up past her bum.
Oh no.
Now I immediately went, the feckers have sent me the wrong size. I took it off. I got the dress she had ordered from, I got that, and I got her to put it on again, the same problem.
Oh no.
So what had happened is this gorgeous girl had gone to a fitness instructor, and he had basically got her to do loads of squats and lunges.
So she had a big bum.
So she had literally built up all that area.
Yeah. Like a lovely firm bum.
Lovely, but the dress was a really fitted dress. So that worried me because I'd never sort of, I was like, this is a biggie.
Right.
Got on to the suppliers. Have you a bigger size? No, we don't. Sorry. So we had to. I said to her, "You stop freaking the squatting, and we'll do our best." And now, thankfully, my girls worked a miracle, and everything was fine. But so be careful of the squatting. Be careful, and especially if you're wearing a fit, because you can really lift and build and bulk. So just be careful.
Oh my God, that is such a good point.
Yeah,
Paula.
just be careful.
Because they all, no, I don't want to say they all, but an awful lot of my brides have been in the gym, and I get there in the morning thinking, I want that body.
Yeah.
So tell me, you did Bonnie Ryan's dress, Paula.
Yes.
Tell
Bonnie
me
was
more.
just gorgeous.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
And her mum, they're
Maura.
just, absolutely gorgeous people to deal with. Like, she was so easy, so lovely, so appreciative of everything we did. So she bought one of our gorgeous dresses from one of our collections in the showroom. And then we obviously did the alterations. And Bonnie's only a tiny little thing.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
Tiny like.
Yeah.
And she's just, look, you could have put anything on Bonnie. But she knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
And then she had this idea of sleeves.
I loved the sleeves.
Yeah,
Paula.
and then the veil.
Yeah.
So like Bonnie's dress was absolutely stunning. And again, it's down to fit as well, girls.
Absolutely.
Getting your dress is one thing. You need to get the alterations done.
And did you make Maura's dress, Paula?
Maura had bought a dress somewhere and I just wanted to help sort of, add a bit of detail to it.
Yeah.
So
Good
she
woman.
came into me and said, look, what can we do? So we appliqued on the lace and stuff.
And would you give sort of mothers of the bride and mothers of the groom advice about what they should be wearing? Is that something you do?
Well, I do mothers of the bride and groom, but I'm working on a collection at the moment of my own designs. But last year I made a lot of mother of the brides and grooms dresses or whatever they wanted,
Yes.
And I'd sit down with them and we'd design stuff.
So do you know
I've done jumpsuits, I've done dresses.
Amazing.
Loads of,
Because obviously my son got married in June. Just gone.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this country is seriously lacking in mother of the bride and mother of the groom outfits.
Yeah.
Like an awful lot of the places that I would have gone to for that look, they more or less all had the same look where they had like a dress and a little kind of jacket. I was like, that's not me.
No.
So I knew sort of the style I wanted and I ended up buying a gorgeous dress that I bought.
Yeah.
But there's a serious niche there,
There
Paula.
is, I know. And I'm really I'm trying to find the time to get my little capsule collection finished off, which can be changed. So a mother of the bride or groom can come in to me and say, listen, I love the top of that and I love that colour and I love that skirt. And the beauty of that is, you're not having to worry about walking into the church and somebody else, because you do hear those nightmare stories where you walk in and somebody's wearing the same dress.
I've seen it.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I twice.
Yeah.
And
I think that would be so difficult.
No, do you know what? In fairness to one of the girls who came in and one of the ladies, and she had a dress for the second day, thank God, in her car. And she went out into the bathroom behind the church and she changed into it.
Yeah.
But the other person didn't. And it's just, like it's you don't want somebody wearing something the very same as you.
Oh God, no, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not saying that we're big egos or anything. But if you're the mother of the bride, you're like
or
the bride,
or the groom. You have to keep saying that.
Yeah, the mother of the groom is as important. But you want to sort of. I mean, look, we all, and it's a day that you can really focus on dressing up and look, we don't have too many opportunities to be dressing up. So as you get older as such, so it's lovely.
Oh, it is. And just even on the mother of the groom thing, just to go back to it there, even before Dean got married last June, I always bring the mother of the groom into Paul. I feel so sorry for some of them.
I know.
Because you've got the mother of the bride in a lot of cases who's going to all of the dress fittings, is included in absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And the mother of the groom isn't.
Yeah.
And she is, honestly, like, take it from me, who's done like a couple of 1,000 weddings, I'd say, at this stage.
Yeah.
She's at the church.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the times the bride does include her, but there's a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
And this is her first experience of it all now. And she's absolutely petrified.
Yeah.
So I always try to get up to the church a half an hour beforehand and make a beeline for her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because she now is my celebrity.
Yeah.
As well as the groom, until my bride arrives, you know?
Yes, of course.
So yes.
That's lovely,
If
Jenny.
you're saying
That
the mother
is.
of the bride, will you please include
I'm
the
mother
groom?
of the groom. Yeah, I will, of course. Listen, I have 2 sons, so that's all I'm going to be, you know?
See, that's it.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know what I mean? So I get that. I do, I get it. And while they don't want to be interfering too much, I do. A lot of brides will sort of say to me at my last fitting, is it okay if I bring my, mother-in-law to be?
Yeah.
And of course you can.
That's
and I think it
lovely.
is lovely.
Yeah.
And, listen, talking about fittings.
Yes. let's talk about fittings and what to bring.
Okay, so for your fittings, again, book in advance. As I said, and I'm not exaggerating, I have brides booking in for next January.
Right.
They've bought their dress. They've been told by the shop, if you want to use the dress doctor service, get onto them now.
Okay.
Even with my own brides, I'm getting my girls in the office to ring our brides because obviously I have to put them first as well.
Okay.
You know, so my own clients
Of
have their
course.
dates.
Yeah.
So what you need for your fitting is you definitely need the bra. If you're wearing a bra, you need the bra
Yes.
for the fitting.
Of
And you need
course.
your shoes.
Yeah.
Now, you can bring the Spanx along just to make sure if you're wearing a fitted dress that you can't see any line or anything like that.
Right.
But that's really all you need. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of times, and even though we really do say to girls, you need to bring your bra and shoes, I cannot tell you the amount of times people come in for fittings and go, oh no, I didn't realise I had to bring my shoes. And I'm like,
Seriously?
like most dresses have to be hemmed. You know, so when you're budgeting for your wedding dress, you have your budget for your wedding dress. Make sure you allow, I would say, at least up to $450 for your alterations.
Yes.
So don't be shocked when it comes to your alterations, because alterations are expensive in the sense of
the amount
it's
of work.
very specialised work.
Yes.
You know, and it has to be done right.
Yeah.
Like if you're hemming a lace dress, we have to take off all the edging along the bottom,
Right.
hem the dress, and we have to put it on in such a way that you would never notice.
Right.
So it is very specialised work. So, you know, always allow a budget for your alterations.
Yeah. So about $450.
Yeah. Well,
God,
you know, it
thanks for
could
saying
range
that
for
now.
$200 to $450.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you want to start adding on sleeves and stuff like that, obviously that's going to be
It's
more.
going to be more.
Yeah. So always allow for that.
Yes. Do you know, so I would say a lot of brides don't even think.
No, they don't,
Yeah.
Jenny. They really
Yeah.
don't. You know, sometimes a girl will come in and go, I want to buy that dress, and that's the price, and does that include all the alterations?
And you're
but
like,
sure, how could it?
no.
Like, that's just for me to get the dress in. And then
Yes.
depending on what you want to do.
Yes.
You know, so if you want a dress taken in a quarter of an inch
Yeah.
along the bust line or 2 inches along the bust line, it's the same price because we have to open up the seam, take
Of
it in and take.
course.
So it doesn't
But
matter
that's like-
how much you're going in.
Yeah.
It's how far down the dress we have to work.
But it's like going into Zara or somewhere and buying a dress.
Yeah.
And it needs to
Yeah.
be altered. You're going to
Yeah.
have to pay for that
Yeah.
extra as well.
Yes, of course.
Any other little tips, Paul? Like,
Yeah.
I've one more question for you, but yeah, give me more tips,
Yeah,
please.
so on for your first fittings, I would always say to brides as well, just bring your mum or your mother-in-law to be if you want.
Yes.
Don't bring loads of people because it's really about me focusing on what we need to do.
Yes.
And sometimes you get distracted because girls are sticking on earrings while I'm trying to do the fitting. And look, don't get me wrong, I don't mind, but I prefer just to be able to focus on me and the bride and say, right, how do you
Absolutely.
feel? Does it feel loose there? And you can get distracted. Certainly bring them for your second fitting. Absolutely bring them. And the reason being, I've seen this a million times. A girl will go into the fitting room, she put on a dress, she'll come out and she'll go, oh, it's all wrong, it's all wrong. And I'm like, okay, go back into the fitting room again. And I go in with her and I show her how to put it on.
Yes.
You don't just shove on a wedding dress, you fit yourself into it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a strapless dress, you make sure you put it on nice and high,
Yes.
like it's the top of it's nearly up to your neck, and let it settle down onto your bust. I
Right.
cannot tell you the amount of times where I see girls putting on a strapless dress and they're trying to put it on too low.
Right.
And close it, and you'll never get it right back up. So
Okay.
put it on high and let it settle.
Okay.
So I like the
a great tip.
bridesmaids being there, or the mother of the bride, or whoever's going
To
to be,
see this.
and show them how to put the dress on.
Yeah.
Like I could spend 15 minutes showing people how
How will
to.
you start getting them to take videos of that because they forget?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And how to do the buttons up. There's
Yeah.
a way of doing the buttons up
Yeah.
and the zip up, and how, girls pulling at the zip.
Yes.
And do you know what kills me? Brides trying to do the zip up themselves.
Oh my.
And then they get it caught in the lining, and then
Yeah.
then there's a panic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then how to do the bustle. So very important to
That's
have.
my question. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There's very important to have whoever's going to be helping you on the day there to see how it's all done.
Yes.
How to put the veil in. Well, mind you, sorry, that's more down to the hairdresser.
Yeah.
But how to do all, and don't be afraid to ask whoever's altering your wedding dress or selling you.
Because the
how-
bustles are all different, Paula.
Yes.
They're all different. And I'm
Well,
there
do you know
for
what?
every one of them.
Yeah, a lot of girls think the hanging tape that's on the end of your train, which is a loop ribbon.
Yes.
A lot of girls think that's for holding it on your wrist. Now
Right.
that is not for holding it on your wrist.
Okay.
That's for us to hang the train up on the hanger.
Right.
So, because if you're holding that up on your wrist, you're really turning your bottom of your skirt inside out.
Right.
And sometimes you're just showing off all the underneath, which you shouldn't really be.
No.
Now, some girls don't like bustles and they just want to use that, and that's fine. But you have to give them the option.
But for dancing, Paula,
Yeah.
they have
so
to hook
up
it
and
up.
under is the way I would do it.
Up and under.
Yeah. So up and under.
Right.
So it's like a bustle. Over is very difficult. It depends on your dress. Like a lot of girls who have full dresses and it's quite heavy, the train. If you're trying to bustle it over, like, lift it up and pin it on something on the outside of the back, we can't do something very obvious because you don't want to see it. And I will. Sometimes girls will say, "No, I want it that way," and I'm going, "Okay, but I'm telling you, it's not going to last,
right?
Because all I can do is little thread loops, so nobody can see it.
It's going to come down.
So bring safety pins.
Yeah.
So wherever you hook it on, then go underneath with your safety pin and safety pin it as well.
Right.
So most of the bustles I do are up and under, so they're ribbons underneath.
Okay.
So if you can imagine your train is long.
Yes.
And I'm sort of at a halfway point, I'm lifting it and I'm putting it up and under.
Okay.
And I'm putting a ribbon there so it sort of bustles down and it's all up and under.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do, Paula? On my Instagram, and I'm going to put it up there on my post so that anybody can have a look.
Yeah.
I'm going into your showroom very soon.
Yeah.
And you're going to show me how to do this.
Yeah.
Because honest to God, when I'm there for speeches and first hands, no joke, 90% of the time the girls forget how to do the bustle.
Okay.
Because they haven't taken a video of it. And it does look complicated.
Okay.
I don't know how many dresses I've been under.
Yeah. I actually numbered the ribbons for them sometimes. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3.
Right.
But you're right, because I got a call at 11:30 one night from a bride in Spain.
11:30.
Yeah. How do I do this bustle again? Now, obviously, it was she was laughing,
and you're like, I'm locked. I don't know.
No, she was.
Paula.
Very funny, So yeah, absolutely, we should do it, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, you've no idea how important this is going to be. So we'll absolutely do it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Paula King, thank you.
Oh, we done?
So we're done. We're done.
My God.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I could talk for another half an hour, Jenny.
And so could I, but they'll all have to go back to work, But if there's any other questions that anyone has, they can contact me on my Instagram page, Jenny McCarthy 8. Yeah. How can they contact you, Paula?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at Bridal by Tamem Michael, TAM for Mary, EM for Mary again, and then Michael.
Okay.
No N's for Nora. And so we're on Instagram there, Bridal by Tamem Michael. So you can send me a message there, or you can look up the details of how to phone us or email us. There's no problem. We're just based in Fashion City, which is just exit 10 off the M50.
Amazing, Paula. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Jenny.
What a great chat. What a great chat.
Thank you so much.